But yeah, I'm gonna give you guys a friendly NPC guide named Seth. He's late teens, early 20s, overly thin. You can tell his hair was dark, but maybe the stresses that he's seen over time has turned his hair gray. Like he's young, but he's like gray as a mule. In situations where people have to rush, he's usually the last one in line. He's kind of a sickly individual, but he's been very, very informative to you guys. Probably introducing you to the first few spirits that you guys have come across, which, depending on what powers you have, which gifts you have, would point in the direction of what spirits you have run into. All of the I keep wanting to call them disciplines. All of the gifts are going to have what spirit each of them come from listed next to them. So if you want that to be a major part of what's going on with your character, that can be definitely a thing. Most of the time when you guys go through a change, it's going to be in a very dramatic way. Age doesn't really have much to do with it in this version of the game, in this edition of the game. So you're not looking at like puberty setting you off. You're looking more like hard life events possibly being the thing that really gets you, or just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. He would have told you that nobody really knows who is going to pick up the wolf. It just happens. And it's hard to tell who's going to be affected by it. Did anybody take the merit that allows them to keep their day job?
Corroborated day job.
I didn't know that was had to have a merit for it.
It is incredibly difficult for your character to keep their job.
Unless you're doing your own side gig.
Agreed, but even then, when things happen, and if fingers point to you, the merit, like, corroborated day job means that there's somebody who will go, oh yeah, this person was here the whole time.
That's true.
They went out of their way to make being a werewolf a fucking curse in this game. Mm-hmm. Which I'm kind of appreciative of. What is Phil's day job?
He's a goddamn PI.
You're a private investigator. Okay.
So mostly catching people cheating.
Actually, that's kind of the same route I went.
Very cool.
In fact, we might actually be colleagues, occasionally working together.
Phil, being a private investigator, you two could very well know each other through contacts, through sources. His private investigator business is not going to be going as well as yours is at the moment, considering the situation.
However, I did take a 3-point spirit pact. I was wanting it to basically be a wind spirit so I can use it to listen in on conversations.
Okay. Is that what that does?
It gives you a minor... it gives you a minor spirit that can help you with... depending on what the situation is.
Okay.
It didn't say anything in the book about it being like a combative, but I took 3 points of it, so...
Do you know what page it's on?
It's in the...
Is it a gift?
No, it's in
Merits.
Merits.
Okay. Not really. I am not really sure about...
Because it kind of reminded me of the Spirit Mentor background there. You used to be in the groove.
Oh, I could definitely see that.
Here.
I said backgrounds.
Spirit Pact.
What page?
105.
Okay.
You have entered a mutual pact with a lesser spirit and gained its loyalty. The spirit acts as an ally and will provide good help to the best of its abilities when signed.
What point is it? Is it a 1 or 2? Do you have host or companion?
I've got it as a 3-point.
Oh, okay. You don't have the side things. Okay. All right, cool. So you have a 3-point spirit. All right, I will take away 3 dice. I will drop your difficulty by 3 every time you try to listen in on something.
Okay.
Okay?
I figured that would be a nice little thing for a PI to have.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and say, since you guys met Seth already, and he's walked you through basically your first situation that you've had to handle, probably cleaning up your messes from going through changing.
Okay, I could see lots of stressful situations when you're involved in PI business.
Yeah. What we're going to go ahead and say is that Seth has hired Phil and has hired you at the same time to basically spy on David's character. What is your name?
Dominic.
Huh?
Dominic.
Okay. He hired both of you guys because he knew what was about to happen to you.
De la Coco.
What does Dominic do for a living?
Underground fighting.
Underground fighting. Cool. Actually, very, very cool. Thank you. I know exactly what's happening now. So, we're going to take a couple steps back. We are recording now, right?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and take a couple steps back, a few months ago in the game. Let's go ahead and say that it's autumn, not winter. And there has been a lot of really confusing things going around, specifically dealing with riots that took place a few months ago, where there were militia brought in to handle like situations, rioting that was happening in the Pearl District, because this game is going to be set in Portland, Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just been a sense of unease. Specifically, the 3 of you have had horrible, repetitive nightmares. And you guys might not all know that you're sharing the same situational nightmares with this, but ever since Richard Wynn started running for mayor,
That motherfucker.
things have gotten just really confusing. Just rough night's sleep. You don't typically remember your dreams.
Goddamn vampires.
But at one point in time, both of our PI characters here, our investigators, are going to get hired by someone over the phone who calls himself Seth. And he's going to ask for you guys to meet him in a public spot, so that you guys can. Now, you guys are only going to think that you're just meeting this person, and he'll tell you. He's like, you'll know me. I got gray hair. I don't look the healthiest, but whoever gets there first is also going to be there when the other person gets there. So it's going to come to the fact that he's going to be open that he's hired 2 investigators to work on this, because it may or may not be something really bad. That he's keeping it up, that he needs to follow up on some guy named Dominic. And it's going to lead you into some very interesting subcultures in Portland, which have been floating around in the rumor mills, especially for you guys who have contacts in Underworld and stuff. Do you guys, who has anything like that?
I took contacts within the police department.
The police department? What about Phil?
What are contacts?
How do you do your investigating?
I bug people's houses.
You bug
cars,
people's houses? Okay.
air tags.
Okay. After a couple of weeks of him bugging things that he suggests, you're going to get hooked up on a...
Okay, I did.
You're going to get hooked up on a deli that's in the...
Breaking and entering.
You're gonna end up bugging a deli and getting information in the Old Town area, which there's a hotel that you find out there is legit an underground fighting ring happening. You get brought into that underground fight. You're in that underground fighting ring. What kind of do you have any gimmicks or anything about this, or are you just going in and kicking ass?
Going kicking ass for money.
Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and say that you were doing really, really well. And on your first night being brought into a whole new level of this underground fighting ring, you're invited in by a guy named Billy.
Okay.
Billy seems incredibly impressed by you with everything that you've done. What's your physical traits? Like, what do you got?
I got 4 strength, 4 brawl.
Okay. Very cool. He's probably even, like, sparred with you a little bit here and there. He's offering you really, really good money. And he's giving you places that you're going to fight, but... And they're open. Like, they're not open, but they're like, there's going to be a lot of people there. But, like, you have this odd, I don't want to be alone with this guy sensation. He looks at you like, if you were a little younger, you might think he was trying to groom you. Like, it seems really weird, like, kind of uncomfortable. Like, he looks at you like you're food, in a way.
I was going to say, does he look at you like how a fat kid looks at a chocolate cake?
He looks at you like a fat kid looks at a chocolate cake.
Yeah.
I'm going to point out that everybody at this table is not the thinnest person, and we are not fat shaming. However, we are honest.
We are very honest.
But yeah, Billy and this guy who hangs around him who doesn't talk much and seems to have this like really big jagged scar across his throat. They always seem to be together. And you can't tell if it's like some gay thing that's going on or... But you're happy that they're offering you money when there's going to be a lot of people around. So you don't have to just be around him. So in the middle of a fight, which you guys and Seth end up getting to go to, they weasel their way in. Let's just say the cops are going to do a bust on this. You've got a friend on the force by the name of Mason.
Okay.
And Mason can get you in, but he's telling you to be really, really careful because, like, this guy Billy, who runs this thing, isn't somebody you want to make enemies with. All in all, we're going to go ahead and jump ahead and say that during the fight, you get so stressed out with everything that's going on. The guy that you're fighting seems to be able to hit a little bit harder than you're used to. And you black out. You two see your first werewolf change. And where there's a panic of people running and and trampling each other underneath this hotel, trying to get like to whatever exit they can. Your brain tries to rationalize what you see. Perhaps somebody brought a wild animal to this thing. What kind
as
of...
a detective, my first general response would be to take my camera out and start shooting pictures.
I'm just since we're just walking through your first change here, I'm taking direct control liberties.
We're in cutscene mode.
You're in cutscene mode. Your cameras are going to end up getting bashed out of your hands. Cameras are going to end up getting broken. And with the anger of the cost of the equipment and being repetitively slammed into by people who are panicking and whatever the hell this thing is that keeps coming further and further into clear view that it is not some normal wild animal. And the whisper to both of you from Seth from behind you saying, "That's what you two needed to see." And this explains why a lot of my NPCs disappeared a while ago. So he's going to walk you through, or talk you guys down. He's going to get you guys out of the city proper and into more wilderness areas. We'll just go ahead and say that he takes you guys into the Chinese gardens after dark at one point where there's a lot more nature-esque stuff that's out there. And he will walk you guys through everything that you need to know as a starting wolf, as a cub, which he calls you. Which is really interesting because he seems a lot younger than all of you guys, but he does not look the healthiest. He takes you out there, and under the night sky, he explains to you that werewolves, or guru, as is their word for it, are the protectors of Gaia. We don't know why certain people are chosen, but certain, like, everybody gets chosen for a reason. And there's an entire world beyond this that you are all going to have to get used to over time. But you also need to understand that there are die-hard loyalists to the way things used to be run. But those ways didn't work. It took a long time, but eventually everything just imploded on itself. A war erupted between us. We each are separated into our own tribes. Like different things that we can relate to. During this conversation, he's going to take you into the Umbra. He's going to perform a ritual that basically makes everything in the Chinese garden seem so much bigger all of a sudden. It makes everything seem so alive that you feel like you're being watched by everything, but don't see anything else at the same time. There are what you would consider lightning bugs, but they're so much bigger than they should be, and all you really see is the light of them, not the actual bug itself. And they just kind of zoom and fly in every freaking direction. He will eventually introduce you to Spider, or a representative of Spider. You're doing a Shadow thing?
Shadow
Lord.
Lord. It's Thunder.
Thunder? He will take you on top of the pagoda that's in the Chinese garden. And he will introduce you to the heat lightning that's happening. What should be miles above your head seems just inches. And it rumbles and it lights up the way heat lightning typically does, but like you swear you can hear words in it. Like you can fully understand everything that element in the sky is trying to tell you. Mm-hmm. And what do we got? What is Phil again? Owl? Okay. And he will definitely take you to Owl. He's going to take you to all of the patron spirits. But you are all going to obviously bond with the patron spirits that you have chosen at character creation here. Mm-hmm. And that's actually how your tribe is taken. You're not born into a tribe anymore in this edition. Your patron spirit offers you something. So one of your gifts is going to be a direct gift from your patron. Other gifts that you have on your character sheet are going to be got from various other spirits in this experience as well. And he's going to let you know that there are sacred places bigger and more important than this one. And when he says that, the park itself, you can just, it doesn't say anything or anything, it's a park, but you can feel it slightly insulted. Like the park itself, the entire damn thing, the swings, the pagoda, the trees, the man-made lake, the koi, everything that's in here that's like 10 times bigger than it should be if you weren't in the Umbra, just collectively gives a hey, like fuck you. Like, the park itself seems insulted by him saying that there are more sacred areas. He will let you know that there was a tribe that was highly dominant, but they've lost favor with their spirits. And their land is out there. And he'll give you a rough idea. It's like out to the northwest of where you guys are right now. But he doesn't know if that tribe still has people lingering around those areas. Doesn't suggest going out there, but at some point in time it might be a good idea to reclaim that cairn. And he's happy to help you on your way. But he doesn't know if you all would want him in a pack with you. Just because he's older and where he does... And you're looking at this kid, this like late teens, early 20s kid. He's like, just because he's older than you, he doesn't feel that... He doesn't want to taint your way of seeing things. Stop being a child.
No.
So, he doesn't want to ruin your point of view. He wants you to experience the world as it is. Because, and he outright tells you, he's like, the old ways have come close to, if not completely, have killed Gaia. It's not, she's not as strong as she used to be. If she's alive at all anymore. This could just be the death rattle of what we have left. All of these spirits living on the corpse of their mother.
Wow, Seth, you're a killjoy.
I don't mean to be, but I want you guys to know the truth. The old ways, the litany, the way that... The set of rules that the Guru Nation used to follow, it has led to nothing but inner strife, clanist actions, and the inability to do the job that we were put here to do. Protect Gaia. Make her as healthy as we possibly can. You need to find your own ways through this now, and I'm happy to help you. But we do have spirits. I've heard... I haven't seen it here, but I have heard of something called a city father. Living embodiment of the city itself. That may or may not live here as well. Not all cities have them. Only the ones that have the biggest impact in the world have that. I know...
So cities like New York or...
New York, London, Atlanta.
Yeah.
Places like that tend to have them. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. But you're literally looking at... Like, you saw how big things get on the inside. Finding one spirit that represents an entire city, it's not the easiest thing, especially if they're not like claiming territory or anything like that. And I'm not even sure what a city father for a place like Portland would look like.
Guarantee you it'd look really, really weird.
Possibly. Considering the fact that this city was founded on logging. Either way, I could sense that all of you were going to go through the change. And it might be a good idea, safety in numbers, to try to work with each other when it comes to this. You don't have to. You don't have to at all. But life in a pack is a lot easier than life on your own. Because things can get really bad. I scented you all out before you even turned. Something's going to definitely be able to scent you out afterwards. So how do you guys handle all this new news?
I'd probably just kind of soak it all in because it's not like I can argue with it.
Yeah, are you going to deny it?
I mean, given what just happened with all of us and what we're seeing now,
Yeah.
I mean, I can try to deny it, but that would just...
It's a lot easier to believe that the events of the evening are some sort of fucking drug trip.
And if it is some kind of drug trip or something that somebody put in my drink and I'm dreaming, well, then I'm just having a dream and I just go with it, and next day I wake up.
And
You wake up the next day, pay your rent, do your taxes.
He will allow you to think that. And he will give each of you contact for him. You'll see his phone at some point in time. Maybe when... We'll just say that he had you guys meet at the Voodoo Donut.
Yeah.
Like maybe when you're at the Voodoo Donut and one of you was there and the other one was calling to make sure the meeting was still going to happen, he pulls out his like burner phone. Like very obvious, cheap, like...
I got this out of Circle K.
Yeah. But yeah, he'll give you guys contact information. You can reach out whenever you want. He tells you that straight out. Like, if you need me, I will find a way to get to you. If you feel that you need to go back into the Umbra, I will take you there whenever you need to go. Until one of you is able to learn how to get there yourselves. It's not an easy thing. And the ritual that he did to get you guys there was very drawn out. He literally cut a rift from this world to the next to get there. And like when you get in there, it's so dizzying. You don't know which way is up, which way is down. You feel like the trees have faces and they're staring at you. There's just so many different things.
Sounds like the old ritual that the Grawl used to use to you.
Very similar.
In between worlds.
Very, very similar. They've gotten rid of the step sideways mechanic in this because you can't fucking beat that. So it had to go. So after
Because of
that
abuse.
was always my last ditch effort. I'm down to 1 health. I'm fighting a vampire. I'm going into the Umbra.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, a lot of people were, I'm going to be in the Umbra, I'm going to stare through it, I'm going to find the Vampire Elysium, and then me and my friends are going to come out and shatter everything.
Yeah, that was kind of...
Yeah, they got rid of that shit.
Pack tactics.
So, since that night, I got coffee cooking for you, David. It's okay. We'll keep you alive, man.
All right.
Since that night, getting a job in a fight club has been almost impossible for you. The person who runs the fight clubs has not been able to be reached. The number that you had is out of service.
Has David made it onto YouTube yet, or...
No, nothing like that. But even the hotel that you went into, they refuse to even acknowledge that they have basement access. So, there's all that. Did you pick a name? Joseph?
Yeah.
Is that what it is, Joseph?
Yeah.
Alright, Joseph, you're going to find that since that happened, you've scared away more clients than anything. They come in for help, you need to like spy on a wife that's cheating, or whatever person comes in looking for their kid who's run away or something like that. They walk in, and within 5 minutes of talking to you, they're just like, we're going to find somebody else, and they'll leave. They're just not doing well when it comes to being around you. It's something you might be putting off. Some of them walk in, look around uneasy, sniff the air a little bit, and go, maybe we should try the place across the hall. Something like that. Unfortunately, being a werewolf has not done very well for your job. Do you have any kind of retainers or anything on Phil?
Nope. Got resources.
You got resources?
Yeah, because I hold down this day job.
Okay.
There's only so many points to go around.
So over the last, how long do you think it's been since you went through that situation where you went through your first change? Like, let's say, I'm going to go ahead and roll a die. How many months has it been? It's been about 6 months. 6 months since you went through your first change. How many times do you guys think you would have called Seth for questions? Nothing's outright coming at you or anything like that, but I will say that you guys have had an increasing amount of very strange nightmares. And you may not all be talking to each other, which was Seth's intention, was to get you guys to know each other. But like, all of you, if you do end up talking to each other, will realize that you're all pretty much sharing the same dream. You're running through a dusky forest with a billowing cloud filled with red glowing eyes that's howling, chasing after you. And if you look down at your feet, or you look down at the others who are running with you, you're wolves, not people.
Seth would definitely have gotten a phone call at some point.
Okay.
Maybe like not
Because I believe a Glabro can still operate a handset, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you unintentionally shift to Galactic?
I have Moon Thrall.
Okay, yeah. He will basically tell you to lock the door, and he will be there in a few minutes, and he will try to talk you down for that, and he will explain to you what Moon Thrall means, and that is it's a rare thing that happens when a guru is close to their beast.
Oh, just so you're aware, here's the falls I took. My addiction is alcohol. It's just the 1-point version, but I have a stalker.
Nice. Cool.
Only because I needed to spend 2 points in flaws.
Gotta put him somewhere.
Might as well
Understood.
take a stalker because,
Or you could turn into a Glabro or Hispo every time you see the moon. First time of the night.
I could take a stalker and then, it's like you peek outside the window, they see you see them, you're in Kranos for some reason.
He's going to talk you down from Glabro, teaching you, like, going over, like, again, how to shift
See
properly.
this being terribly inconvenient. You set foot out of your townhouse, and you have to set foot right back in. Spend the whole evening bouncing around because everything's too small. The only thing you can figure out to cook for yourself is to take ground beef and just put it right on the burner.
He's going to try to talk you, like, he tries to teach you how to properly shift back down.
Yeah. This is going to make it a lot easier for Phil to believe this very quickly.
Yeah.
The first couple of nights of nightmares, I probably will ignore it, and given my addiction, I'll probably, take a few shots of something
Nightcap.
strong, and basically give myself a nightcap and hope that I pass out again, which will probably just result in more nightmares.
Yeah. Yeah.
After a few days of that, though, I will eventually call it.
How about you? How do you handle your nightmare issue? They start off great, but like that billowing cloud behind you is just very uncomfortable. You don't wake up happy with that.
Pretty much when I wake up, I make sure my blinds are closed. And none of the shine of the moon can actually get through.
Okay.
Moonriled.
Moonriled? What exactly does Moonriled do? You just get all...
When I look at the moon for the first time during the night, I will either shift to Hespo or Lupus.
Okay, so you effectively have the next stage of what he has. Awesome. He'll have what you're having. Gotcha. With the nightmares and stuff that's going on, Seth will eventually, like, call you all together. just to see if we can talk through it. Do you tell Seth that you're having nightmares too? Okay. Yeah, he's gonna have you guys meet at one of the larger parks in Portland. There's a park that has a giant radio flyer wagon in it. Like it's a red wagon with a handle, but it's the size of a school bus.
Okay.
And he's gonna ask for you guys to meet over by that wagon. I'm going to let you all have a couple minutes before he arrives. So when you guys arrive at that place, you can talk amongst yourselves for a minute.
So how's business?
Night job's got a hell of a lot more pain in the ass.
I seem to be scaring away any would-be customers.
Training's been a bitch and a half with nobody to be able to train. Nobody wants to get close and train with me.
I wouldn't want to get close and train with you.
Yeah, no offense, but it seems pretty reasonable.
That and whatever happens to me at night.
Yeah, after a few minutes of you guys being there, he's going to walk up, seemingly out of nowhere. It's just like he seems to fade into view as he's stepping forward. Sorry for being late, guys. So, I asked you all here. He looks around, paranoid. Like, just in case somebody's here, he sniffs a little bit. And probably in the most athletic action that you've seen him do since you've met him, he kind of like hops on the wheel and like kind of pushes himself off, grabs onto the side of the wagon and kind of like picks himself up and looks inside of it for a second. Just like kind of shakes it off like he's just thought he noticed something but didn't, hits the ground. So the reason I asked you guys all here is because all of you are describing the same dream to me. The whole thing where you're running through the woods with the... Yeah, you're all three having that same thing. And I've got...
Is this like a common thing, or...?
Well, I mean, you all three went through shifts around the same time. And, I guess out of character, we got to point out you guys didn't really shift on the same night because you're all different auspices. But you probably went through shifts and kind of ignored them, like shift in your sleep kind of situation. You all started going through shifts around the same time. So, and you all entered the Umbra around the same time, so that could be a thing too. I've got my suspicions. Everything's gotten really weird, and he's going to reach into his jacket and pull out a newspaper and, like, just fold it out to everybody so you can see the front page. And it says, Richard Wynn elected as mayor. And then there's, like, poll analysis on it. It says that his main... his main competitor was a man named Rickard, which is a surprisingly common name I found out. Rickard?
Rickard lose?
Like, Richard Wynn
versus Rickard lose.
Beat out Rickard Mueller.
Okay.
Who was like a candidate nobody really thought was going to get as far as he actually did. But he was actually doing good until Wynn started to plow through the competition. Anyway, I think personally that it has something to do with this. I don't know. I just get a bad feeling about this guy.
He's a politician. He's a politician, and you're supposed to.
I mean, politicians are practically the devil.
Politicians, lawyers, all cut for them same cloth.
You're not too wrong about that most of the time. No, don't get me wrong. There's plenty of like people that take those jobs, but not only people take those jobs. Anyway, I had a question for you. I've been trying to. Has anybody heard of the Bates Nursery in the Pearl District?
Bates Nursery.
Yeah, it's a plant nursery. Can I get a wits plus insight check from Phil over there?
I've got 3 points of streetwise.
Same.
No, don't make me roll
3
my
points
best.
of streetwise.
Best
You can
frickin'
do
pool.
wits plus streetwise if you like. If you got streetwise, you guys can all do it.
2, 3, 4.
Okay. Well, that said, I still only got 2. Unless interpretation is different.
What do you got?
I got 2 7s.
No, that's 2 successes.
Yeah.
Okay.
4 successes.
4 successes, 3 successes. Derek? Dominic, sorry.
De la Coco.
Dominic knows the place exists.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're going to get from that. You know the place exists. Streetwise, you've had people that you hired out from time to time to spy on businesses from you. And there was a group of, like, kids that you had spying on a place in the Pearl District it doesn't exist anymore. It was called Frankie's Place. They were highly damaged in the riots, and they've moved to the New Orleans district. But you remember setting people across. You had some kids who were across the street at this place called the Bates Nursery, who were watching Frankie's Place from over there. So you know it exists, and you know that it was a good place to like put people who you had spying on that restaurant.
Yeah.
Phil, on the other hand, knows it because his ever-growing stack of your lack of business has been amazing business for him. One of your more recent jobs that you're considering taking but have not yet taken it was a man named Harold Bates, who had a job about something. Like his note didn't seem like the typical cheating wife or anything like that, although it could be. But he seemed He seemed more concerned than anything by reading like the report. But yeah, you would know Harold Bates has reached out to hire you. So yeah, that's what you guys would know. You would know the place exists. Maybe you've bought flowers from there at some point in time or something. You would know,
I know
that
it's a
you've
good place to hang out when trying to snoop out information.
Yeah, and you would know the name. You would specifically know the name because you've heard of Harold Bates, and the number that you have that was attached to it under his daytime number was for the Bates Nursery.
So, all the background resolution done. The words out of his mouth were something along the lines of, "I don't know if you heard of this Bates Nursery place."
Yeah.
Harold Bates Nursery?
He's gonna pull out a tiny little, like, notebook that looks like it's been folded to the point where, like, it's barely holding itself together. I have the name Jacqueline Bates, but maybe it could be her husband or her son or something.
Got a job offer from a Harold Bates.
That might be actually something that that might be connected to what we're talking about here. He, the lady who runs the place hasn't been there for a little while. So, I don't know, maybe the three of you might want to check out Harold. I don't do too well around the humans.
Well, what brought this to mind in the first place?
Alright, so ever since this win won,
right?
There's been like some back and forth with a few people. This Bates seems to be the latest of a good handful, and I don't know. I feel like it might be connected to situations, maybe something that you guys are sensing. Like, I think you guys are picking something up that you're not, like, fully comprehending yet. Like, you got the human side out pretty down packed, but, like, I think the wolf side is trying to tell you something.
Any clues of what could it be?
What?
You know, I really don't need this. Any of this.
Nobody did this to you. This is what you were born with.
Yeah, well, I don't need it whether somebody did it or not. It's got a practice, got a house. This is really a complication I didn't need at this age. I should be having to think about 401ks.
You don't get that. And I'm sorry if this is causing turbulence in what you're trying to accomplish here, but you're not a person anymore, Phil. I'm really sorry to tell you that. I really am. I'd like to not fucking have to tell this to anybody. But this
now
is
you're telling me
something-
I'm going to turn into some friggin' dog thing.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's exactly what you're going to do. And you can either take control of it, or it's going to take control of you. You ever heard that saying that there's like a black dog and a white dog inside everybody? And like, depending on which one you feed, depends on which one wins. Well, one of them already won, and it's taking over your shit. So you're going to have to either take control of it, or just lose. Because the biggest enemy you're going to have is yourself right now.
What happens if you lose?
There's a couple different options. Either extreme self-righteousness that causes the end of the world, or a full-on depression that eats you up from the inside out. Or something hunts you down and kills you. That's your third option. I usually don't consider that one, but if you're going to completely ignore what your calling is, then that's what's going to happen.
out of character, I'm going to throw this out. Werewolf is so much more of a story of personal horror than Vampire ever was.
Yes, it is. It is now, finally, as it should be. This is something Abilene and I have talked about. Is like, I like the concept of werewolf. She hates the concept of werewolf because it's not a curse. Now it is. You can ignore it, but you're going to end up killing people. And then we're going to have to hunt you down.
looks meaningfully in your direction because the speaker can't see me glaring over here.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Look, all I'm asking you to do is take...
Yeah, I thought a goddamn polar bear had been set loose in there.
All I'm asking you to do is take your actual talents, the things that you have trained for, and investigate what the fuck is happening in this situation with these people.
Well, that ought to be damn easy. I can just take the job. Then maybe I can get paid for doing this too.
There you go. The thing is, you don't just, like, as much as it sucks, and it fucking sucks, look at me and tell me that it doesn't suck. He looks like he's barely standing. You have extra capabilities now to help you with this. You don't have to just flat foot around and ask people questions. You can ask the spirits of the land what they saw, and they will answer you.
I can turn into a Neanderthal and knock over half my china.
Yes, you can very well go Glabro. You can also turn Hispo. You can turn Lupus. You can turn Krenos if it's necessary. We have different forms we take in different situations, and they all have their benefits. Hell, with a heavy coat and a hat, you can walk around Glabro without most people noticing. I would go and do this myself, except I don't think that I would do well in the situation. I think the three of you are stronger than I am in this suit, especially since one of you has already been approached by the people that I'm concerned about.
Ooh.
He said he got hired.
I got an offer.
Well,
But I guess we're upgrading that to higher.
it's a job that gets you paid and does Gaia's work.
What does your client want?
I don't know. You sounded a little different from the usual hard luck cases.
What does it involve? That's my main question.
Yeah, well, you'd have to ask him, but I'm not going to let you because that's my client. So
Well, why
I'll have to
don't
call
the
him.
three of you team up and actually work on this?
Then you can't give it like a dossier or something.
Look, if you go to hire a PI, you know what? Here, look, you're looking at a PI. You got a girlfriend?
Widow.
Okay. Well, imagine that you weren't sure if she was cheating on you before that. Then, all right. Now, come over here and ask me to check into that. Are you going to give me much information about you at all? Very first thing clients forget to do is tell me anything about them, even when it would be relevant. Clients get checked first.
So we're in an argument about whether or not taking this case is going to happen. You have a chance to make some money and do Gaia's work.
Sure, I'm still a little unclear on the guy part of that.
Okay, the world that you live on.
Mm-hmm. You think this guy has something to do with the big scary cloud fart?
I think that this situation involving these people who are just going missing. And I think that the person who tried to hire you is connected to this Jacqueline Bates, who has gone missing. Maybe I'm wrong, and you can unite a husband and wife who got separated by something. Or maybe you're going to find that she's cheating on him or something like that. I don't know. But, like, this is a chance to, like...
Sad fact is, usually when somebody goes missing, it's insurance related or they've gone to Vegas with somebody.
You can try. I mean, see what you can learn. I just think the three of you should work on this together. You got 2 PIs and some muscle. You know?
Well,
And the three of you
I never had any muscles before.
The three of you are fucking muscled together all together anyway.
I could see that being useful in certain aspects.
Yeah.
Oof, that coffee's going through me.
That can be in character, because you have a metabolism.
Yeah, you guys can eat and drink in character. Like, I'm not... Again, I would do it myself. I just don't think I'd do very well.
Snuck in places before where it would have been really nice to have somebody standing outside ready to knock something noisy over, if nothing else.
What do you think?
I mean, what do we have to lose if it just
If it blows up in our faces, the usual stuff.
I mean,
Well, I
they
mean,
just
if it
end up
blows up
being a
in-
regular job.
If it blows up in our faces, at least it might be an entertaining ride on the way. I mean, I don't really have anything to do. Clients stop coming to me right after, right after his fight.
Not surprised.
Why?
Humans don't feel comfortable around us most of the time. You make them nervous.
That's going to be very difficult to keep clients.
Look, most of us don't have jobs.
So what do you guys do for money?
We are... The Guru Nation is the live-action hobo. The murder hobo. Like, we don't have jobs most of the time. We usually can't keep them. This right here, that's the rarity. Being able to keep a job in this condition is difficult. Is all hell.
Oh, good God, we've been sentenced to hippiedom.
So you know those guys that are standing at the corner asking for change? That's where the fucking Guru Nation are. We're the guys that are standing at the corner of Walmart asking for money.
There's a good amount of us that do that. Yeah, and have you noticed how a lot of them seem very uncomfortable to be around?
Ooh.
Look, we try to take care of each other. A lot of us...
Now, you can make that work, too. If you corner a guy at the gas station, he'll pay you $5 just to get you the hell away.
I know a guy, I know a group in Salem that have like a communal like campground that they've all taken up residence in. Like, we find a way to get by.
You ever considered running out into the national forest and killing an elk? Well, you can turn into a wolf, right?
Oh, that's true.
I mean, he wasn't gun hunting before.
Yeah. Go bite a moose's ass if you run out of money.
There's
I mean, am I wrong? You know more about this than I do.
I've hunted my own food from time to time.
See?
No, there's just a lot more running involved.
By the way, you gonna look into this Bates case or not?
Yeah. All right, fine.
You two gonna
First,
help?
I need to run a credit check on this guy.
Like I said, it's not like I got clients pounding at my door.
And then I gotta ignore the results, I guess.
Okay.
I can
So-
only see some cash.
We'll go ahead and boom time it to the next day, where you guys have all had that dream again. Every time you have the dream, the cloud gets closer and closer to you.